This is Windy City Redneck, the podcast. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 15. Eats, Drinks, and Treats, or Treats, Drinks, and Eats. We've been out doing some drinking, so anything's possible with the title now. Only my mic is live at this time. You're listening to Liam Durkin from his CD Behind the Wheel. You know, these guys, always the peanut gallery, always chiming in all the time. We are explicit language, so get ready for that. I know that's coming. Again, Season 3, Episode 15, Eats, Drinks, and Treats. Hope you enjoyed our bonus episode earlier this week with just me and one more. But we were getting the cameras ready, making sure it was good for today. We got a special guest with us today. Tim is with us. We'll get to Tim in a little bit. Again, you're listening to Liam Durkin by himself, without the band. Everything Windy City Redneck is Liam Durkin. Official music of everything Windy City Redneck, windycityredneck.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you're working on the Snapchat thing, right? Your mic is live now.
No, was I supposed to?
Yeah, one night we were in here, and we came up with all the fucking passwords, and you're like, all right, I'll take this, I'll do this.
Can we not change anything about what we do?
No. Well, I mean, our what is our slogan?
I don't know, don't drink, so you remember.
No, dude, you don't even remember how to close the show.
More,
no, it's
always inaccurate.
Always inaccurate, never prepared. That's on the T-shirt. It's on the T-shirt you have.
Which one?
Right now I have Keep Your Head on a Swivel on the back. So, again, Liam Durkin Band. I'm Gone. Official music of everything Windy City Redneck. We played this song on the way down to Deer Camp. We'll talk about Deer Camp in a little bit. Got a lot of things going on. But thanks for joining us, folks. And we are on the... we got our YouTube channel going now. And eventually, just to let you folks know, we're available on Buzzsprout, and we do the Buzzsprout thing, and we're posting the audio. And me and one more had a conversation about at some point we're almost thinking about exclusively going YouTube and not duplicating unless we want to change things. I don't know. We'll talk about it, but we're hoping you folks will start tuning in on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, share. Please share it. Please share it.
Like and share. You don't have to watch. Don't have to listen. Just please like and share.
Yeah, please like and share. We had some. I got some good feedback on our bonus episode, though.
Oh, do we?
It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool.
I wasn't in that.
Huh?
I wasn't in that.
That's why we got good feedback.
Oh, don't.
Man,
shots fired.
That's a rough one. That is a rough one.
No, it was a spontaneous.
Yeah.
Actually, you were mentioned in the preview that we did before that, and
yes,
you were
that's
like,
what I thought.
And you were not there. Remember, we started doing like a practice run.
We did.
And you were like, that guy from up north is supposed to be here any minute, and
I never said that. I never said that. You're so full of shit.
I got video,
and we're also not on mic.
He never showed up.
Yeah.
And he never showed up, so we just did it.
So we always start out the podcast.
I actually wasn't invited.
We always start out the podcast with what we're drinking. Today I am drinking, as usual, High Noon Black Cherry. We got High Noon Black Cherry. Shout out to them. One more. What do you got?
The New Glarus again. Some Spatico.
Whiskey Jim.
My boys.
Yep.
Old style, talking to the microphone. And then our special guest, Tim. What are you drinking, Tim?
An Ace. An Ace IPA.
There you go.
Ace IPA.
There you go.
Sounds good.
So it sounds
Did you
good.
bring the other stuff with that for the Chicago, whatever it is?
I did not.
Oh.
We'll do.
What is it called?
I don't
Chicago
want to do an
Chaser?
entire episode about Chicago Handshake at one point.
Don't get me wrong. I have no desire for that.
No, I think we bring someone from Malort here to do it with us.
Tim, have you ever had Malort?
Why?
Twice.
Yeah. And you threw up twice?
Once.
Whiskey Jim, fix your mic. Put it up a little bit and get a little bit closer to it.
I can't hear myself talking, so I...
You can or cannot?
Cannot.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. It's always him. The cord.
Yeah, you keep pulling the cord out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is
Are
it
you
better
good now?
Can
My
you
head
hear?
is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we know that.
We won't go there.
That's not what she said.
Wow.
It's kind of swelled.
It's this long,
Dude,
but
that was
this big.
It was only 5 minutes and 16 seconds in before we had That's Not What She Said.
That's what she said.
And that's what she said.
Oh, my God.
So it's good. So, hey, the title of this episode is Eats, Drinks, and Treats. And,
So we're going to start with you were talking about just about me.
yeah. No,
No, what we just talked about.
yeah. So we got together before this, and we were at the American Legion in Evergreen Park, American Legion Post 854. It was Queen of Hearts night, and the four of us were there, and we started talking about some things, and I'm like, stop. Save it for the podcast. Let's not talk about this. Let's not talk about that, and just save it so that we have a genuine conversation, which I think we always try to do, which I think is important.
I never try
for the
to
way
stop
that we
talking,
roll.
ever.
I know you don't.
No, it's just usually it's Renee comes up with a title and then he doesn't tell us where he's going to go, and then we just show up and he.
It's called ad libbing.
Yeah,
We
ad lib.
So anyway, now that you're done critiquing,
Anyways, he's our producer, though.
You know how many times our
I
mics
can go
get
back
cut
to
up?
the producer role.
I thought you did.
I can go back to the producer role anytime you guys want. But before we get into this, and each drinks and treats, and the thing we were going to talk about was mostly because it's the holidays, and we just had Thanksgiving, which was good. And I've talked to each one of you guys individually. You had a good time during your Thanksgiving break with your families and stuff, and so we'll get into all of that. But something before that, we had this bonus episode, and we talked about the
Talk about this again?
the deer that one more and his son Joey came across. So go back to that one. That's
So you don't
episode
think
14
a better
and a
bonus
half.
episode of me running around the field and you guys try to shoot me?
Way to give away episode 15 and a half.
Yeah.
I mean,
We just invited you hunting. Where do you think we were going with it?
yeah.
He's jumping the gun.
Yeah. You're the only guy wearing brown. The rest of us have on orange.
It's mostly on my underwear.
Yeah,
Whiskey-
and when we stick feathers in your ass, you'll know.
And this is how it was going to be. Whiskey Jim,
I
you
thought
go
we'd
first.
never talk about that.
Hey Jim, there's a bag of money over there. Go out there. It's
Is
about
there?
50 yards out. yeah.
We'll
If
shoot
you feel
you in the
something
hind
hit you in
quarter.
the
Money's
ass,
the wrong
don't worry
enticement
about it. We got plenty of rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I know it's not Easter, but it's an Easter egg hunt. Just
Most of
go
the guys in the crew are paramedics. You'll be fine.
Wow.
Bend
Most of
over.
them.
We're only 3,000 miles away from the nearest hospital, but everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So, and we shouldn't even joke about that. That's a
You should
it's a
never joke
bad-
about shooting guns at innocent people.
no, Dick Cheney. All right, so
Wow.
so let's
Oh,
get
wow.
before
Well,
we
don't
get
get me wrong. I have a medical kit in my car
I
at
bet
all
you
times.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in case. You never know.
I do too. The one that I have when I opened that up for the twins for Just Ron and Captain Jim, they're like,
All dry
Jesus
rotted.
Christ, you could no.
Oh,
That's that big one that I got one Christmas, and they open it up. They're like, Jesus Christ, you could perform a surgery on this one. It's got everything in there. It's got a scalpel.
Yeah.
It's got everything in there. It's what you should be taking up to the mountains, and we'll talk about that too, because you're getting ready to
I have a
leave.
deer
Well,
field kit.
Those
deer
guys help me out.
uh,
I got some stuff for that.
Yeah.
I own a deer field kit. I'm never going to use it on a deer, but for tailgating, I love it.
What, you killed deer at
don't.
tailgates? The bear games?
No, but you can open any beer, every beer, and any piece of meat does not.
Oh, nice.
It's
okay.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a little kit. It's this by this.
good to know.
Yeah.
They got like the fillet knife and skinning knife and stuff like that in there.
And there's like a bag.
Yeah, the bag with the gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, no, I got one of those from a Ducks Unlimited the one time. It's just a little plastic case and it's got the 3 different knives in it.
You're kind of diminishing it,
Yeah.
but okay.
Well, whatever. But yeah, I know the kit you're talking about.
All right, so now that we're
you've never
completely
been invited to my
Squirrel.
tailgate. I've never been
Squirrel.
to one of your.
Yeah.
So now that we're completely derailed,
Now
and
we're
not
both
going down
uninvited
the
to
road
both.
that we were going to go down. We were talking about the holidays, and
Yes.
before we get into everything that's going on with the holidays and get into the root of what I want to talk about on this episode, I thought we would do a little recap on deer camp, and we talked about it a little bit in our bonus episode, but I thought that me and one more would get into it a little bit and let folks in Windy City Redneck Nation know what's going on. You need a beer?
Yeah.
Oh, he wants a beer.
We usually cut this out, but
So deer camp started out. I think we'll spend like 5 minutes on it because it's a very short story.
2 deer.
they all
Two
are.
deer in
That's
the
what she
first.
said.
2 deer in the first 5 minutes,
You've got no deer?
and I'm sitting there and I'm there's gunshots going off, and I'm thinking, son of a bitch, we've got 2 deer in 5 minutes after the opening bell, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna have deer all weekend, and we didn't see jack shit. Well, we saw, but couldn't get anything
Yeah, I
to
saw-
come
I
in
saw
close
deer
enough.
while I
So,
was out there, but-
what did you? What were your observations and thoughts about this year's deer camp?
Well, there wasn't as many deer out there as usually.
Wow. Wait.
Yeah.
Good insight.
No, I
Good
had,
insight,
I had
Dave.
that 10-pointer we were
sorry.
chasing around
Yeah.
in my sights that Friday night. But,
Yeah.
we had somebody else that we were hoping would get the buck. You know what I mean?
Well, you
So-
had young Evan with you.
Well, that was on Sunday. On
Okay.
Friday, I was by myself, but he was sitting not too far away.
Yeah.
And I was right at last light, and I'm just like, nah, I don't want to.
Well, and we had invited you down, and
Yeah, you actually
I
did.
hang out. I
Yeah.
hang out with Tim 2 or 3 nights a week. Sometimes on the weekends when we're
I'm
at the
sorry
Legion
for Tim.
together, and Tim's always asking, how's this going? What do you guys think's going to happen and stuff? And I love the fact that he asks, and a lot of guys at the Legion ask. And you have all this build up, and you have all this excitement going up to it, and you think, all right, we're going to do this, and this camp. I don't want to say it was a disappointment, but it was different, and it was different on a
We
lot
dropped
of
the
levels.
ball. We dropped the ball, I think.
Well, one more.
so?
How close was that 10-pointer to you when you saw
120 yards. I hit it in my sight. It was right at the end of the night, and there was some bushes and stuff like that. And when it gets dark out, you can't see if there's a tree there, like with just like a twig about half inch or something. You ain't going to see it because the light's fading. And I didn't want to take a shot
So,
because
completely
I was
naive.
afraid.
Is it-
I was afraid to shoot, and I didn't want to wound it and then not be able to
what I was
recover
gonna
it.
ask,
If it came closer and I knew there was no bushes or anything there, then I would have shot. I was sitting in Ron's Captain Jim's stand.
Okay.
So I'm
Yeah.
not, and it's the first time I sat
So
there.
do you
So I'm not.
alternate stands?
No,
Like,
it's
do you
just
alter
well,
time and
he
stands?
had just
I don't
gotten
know.
he'd just gotten a 10-pointer out of that stand, so it was like it was a hot stand.
Yeah,
It's
over here.
amazing how you'll find that hot stand and everybody else. He got a deer, somebody else goes sits there. They get a deer, somebody else goes sits there.
It's like
so
a
I went there.
a fishing boat. Like
Yeah, so I went and sat there, but it's not my stand. I wasn't familiar with the shooting lanes that much. When it got dark out, I wasn't sure. And then we also had a young man that was at our camp that we were all wishing would have got a deer. This year he didn't, and he wasn't sitting too far from me, so I figured, it's not a good shot. I'll let it go. Maybe it'll go over by him. So we didn't. But I think we kind of dropped the ball. Just cameras. We never took it. We didn't take a lot of pictures. I mean, we didn't do a group picture.
In our numbers.
Oh, I gotta look
our,
that way?
Our numbers.
We didn't do a picture.
Yeah, our number. Yeah, our number. To your point, though, I mean, you're kind
He's a
of
producer.
You're kind of right on. Is that you have the. It was different in a lot of respects. I mean, I think a lot of us were focused on the fact one.
So it's the first one time without Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
and
that-
we had Evan
that's-
down
I
there.
wouldn't ask. And
Yeah, so
Can we do here?
yeah. Cheers to Matt,
Cheers.
our
Yeah,
good
to Matt.
friend,
The whole
Cheers.
family.
Northwest Matt.
And
And Tim, you never got a chance to meet him,
I never-
but he
I
was
heard,
a
I heard
great guy.
great stories about him
Yeah.
through you.
And
And one more.
yeah, so it was a little bit different on that respect, and Jackie was gracious enough to let us take Evan.
Yeah.
And Evan wanted to go.
And how was he?
Oh, he was great. I sat
Dude,
with
he
him.
was
I
good.
sat with him Sunday, and we had a blast.
Not
No,
the
we
honey
did.
part. Was
We,
like
we,
when times are quiet. How was he?
you could see there was a couple times he got upset, and
We let him have his space.
yeah.
I mean,
But he also
nobody.
The reason I asked that
Yeah.
those are the moments where he's going to remember the rest. Those moments he's going to remember the rest of his life.
Yeah, we
He was-
we didn't get down on him or nothing.
Yeah,
no.
or like
But
hoard
how
him or
could you?
try to protect him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Nobody was
Right.
like overprotecting.
Just let him be. Just
let him be. If he spoke
Yeah.
up, we engaged with him and stuff like that.
And he's going to run the weekend.
yeah, that's pretty much.
and it's kind of
Yeah.
what happened. It was kind of like there
I
was,
absolutely love that, and
And,
I don't like a lot of things, and I love that.
yeah. He's a great kid, and Matt. I hate that past tense bullshit. Matt is a great guy, and his son is no different. But we definitely had a different tone. We were a little bit more reserved because we were looking out for Evan.
Yeah.
And I think we were mission focused on Evan getting something.
Yeah.
So we were a little bit laid back on
And he
our
did.
own
So he didn't, so we dropped
own
the ball.
endeavors. But again, the weather was at the afternoons. It was 50. You could almost go to the fucking beach. I mean, it was
warm?
ridiculous. It was warm. It was warm.
Well, when Evan saw deer, that was the best part. Evan
They-
saw
they
deer
were
every day.
bedded down
he
when they
helped.
weren't
He
moving.
spotted deer. He
Oh,
helped.
no,
He
there,
helped.
no, he had opportunities.
Yeah.
But guess what he wanted? He wanted that 10-point buck.
I
So,
get that. I
so he was
absolutely get that.
and he was probably with the best guy in our group. He was probably with the best guy in our group. My nephew Dan Vose, who's probably gotten the biggest and the best deer out of anybody that hunts because
So
he's
is
got.
there-
So he was sitting in like the best opportunity, and they had deer in front of him like every day.
All shit aside, is there a better guy? Like, aren't you in a stand? Isn't the beer comes up? Or are you a better spotter? Or are you better?
It's usually the placement of the stand, but then if you can't sit still and you can't be quiet and you don't play the wind right,
Which I can't.
Yeah.
Which I can't.
Yeah, I know.
fart a lot,
And that's the same thing with little kids. They have a hard time sitting,
fart a lot.
sitting
Yes,
still.
I get that.
But I guess they had some a couple of deer blow at him a couple times, but he had shot opportunities. But he was with Vose, and I think he wanted that big guy, and he held off until.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Yeah.
One more. The 2 deer you guys got this year. What was the biggest one of the 2?
It's a 10-pointer, and that's the
I
guy.
mean, the one you actually got down there.
Yeah, that was a 10-pointer that Captain Jim got. And he got that on the opening morning and the stand that I sat in later on that afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Danny Vose got a 8. Or was it 8? 9?
Yeah, I thought we were 9s and 8s, or was it 10s and 9s?
Okay. I thought the one was
Yeah.
10 and I thought the other
We
one.
had we had 2, and
Yeah.
it was nice. We got off to a rip-roaring start,
Yeah,
and
they
it
were
was
nice.
just like
They were nice deer.
yeah, and it was, but. So I don't want to say it was a disappointing camp. It was just a little bit different. Whiskey Jimmy Aston. There was obviously the tone, and we just had a lot. We had fewer guys. Horseshoe was getting ready to take a test, so he didn't come down.
To get into electrical unit,
one of the
so
other
he didn't show up.
guys. One of the other guys.
Some of the characters. Yeah, well, we were missing a main character, and some of the other characters were missing.
Well, you're missing a main character.
That's what I mean. Yeah, we were missing a main character.
The big dog.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean it wasn't good. But
and then, like you said, I think we were a little more reserved because Evan was there. And
I also feel no matter how far this goes with this video part of this, Matt should be brought up often.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And Greg.
One of my best times doing this was with Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good. And Tim, you never had a chance to meet him. But if you go back and you watch some of our episodes, the guy was a true ramrod. He was.
But he was laid back though.
Yeah, yeah, but he knew his shit. We told stories on his podcast about him a million times, and
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're never going to get away from it. And I would, and at the point to where we get away from it, it's like a lot of times we've done this before you came on to be a big part of the podcast, which both One More and I appreciate you being a big
Just
part of it.
I'm heavier. I'm not a big.
No, and me and One More talked about it. It's like. We don't ever want to stop talking about Greg.
No, I agree with that.
Greg was the guy who started the whole thing. Yeah. I think one of the funniest things is when the cameras are off and the recorder's off, and me and him are sitting here and
like
drinking
the other day
whiskey.
When I wasn't invited.
Yeah, but on a real serious note, there's times me and him will just be sitting here and be like, "Man, what do you think Greg thinks? How about it?"
Yeah.
And we're like.
And about this whole thing, I think.
Yeah, about the whole thing.
Yeah. We're a bunch of idiots. That's what I know.
Because this is
he's not wrong.
But this Whiskey Jim. This was not in the plan.
No,
back when we started this was just
still not a plan.
It's
we're drunk or drinking, talking about things.
Greg would have never thought that we would have taken it to where we've taken this, where we have.
Yeah, but you know what?
I
think he would have been like me, and he would have got on board.
Oh, he would have,
and then he would have been like the main character.
He would have, but it's just like I can't even. I mean, back when we used to fuck around in his bar in his basement, and I remember we drew up the logo.
Bucket full of shit or whatever.
Yeah, his bucket full of shit, and we drew up the logo, and we had we'll do this and we'll do that.
Is that the logo that we saw the last thing when his daughter did it?
That's like in the infancy of everything, a long time ago. And so we've got the logo and all this shit, and I think it's just like. What's amazing is that you had Greg, who was the one who was instrumental in getting the whole thing started, and I think he would look at it and be like, "What the fuck?"
Where's Greg now? Greg passed out as well.
Oh yeah, Greg was the guy who started. It was our buddy. No, that's okay. That's okay. So Greg is the guy who started all this. It was Dave and Greg were the first. They're the ones who got me into hunting, and this all started on Turner Avenue. And so anyway, I think Greg would be like, look at this now and be like, what the fuck have you guys done?
But he would also love the back. So we were talking about how we changed things. I love the backtrack. I don't think we changed anything. I love.
So then one more. It was you and Greg that started the.
Well, actually,
got Renee involved with hunting and whatnot.
Greg started it.
And
Greg
then
hunted with some other buddies, and then he got me into hunting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did baseball with Renee and their boys, and then we.
Is that so?
And then we got Renee in it, and it just kind of went from there.
Never.
Once he got me into hunting, I got my nephew into it.
Although we do have a picture of the three of us at the
How far back does this go? How many years?
That picture right there.
15.
Sorry.
I don't know. Well,
okay.
How old are your kids?
Let's see. Well, Matthew. Well, that's a trick question.
Lisa, correct us later.
Sheila
has already amended mine.
The way I was going with that is because it started back when I was with them, and Brandon and Matt were
right.
young.
So Brandon and
that's
Trevor.
When I got into the hunting with them. The kids were little.
Brandon and Trevor are exactly the same age. They're going to turn 30.
Yeah. So
Matthew is 2 years behind Brandon and Trevor.
So
and
25 years ago.
Tanner is 25.
Kids were little when we were started.
So we did. I used to go over there, and you guys would go hunting and everything, and I knew Greg through baseball.
Yeah.
And I would be the guy. These guys would go hunting. I hadn't hunted since I was a kid, and all I did was like pheasant. I had never deer hunted. I had only pheasant hunted, and it's really weird because it's in the same
broader range,
but it was in the same. It was in the same place where these guys would deer hunt. I did not know it, but I pheasant hunted as a kid with my dad and my uncle Pete in St. Anne, Illinois, on the Hoekstra Farms because my grandfather was the purchasing agent for Jay's Potato Chips, and they bought their potatoes from Hoekstra Farms. Okay. And we drive past all the Hoekstra Farms all the time. How about it?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I remember where I picnicked as a kid. I remember being 8 years old and hunting in the creeks where we drive past and drive over all the time, going down the hunt. So it's like this.
I remember being 8 years old, my back didn't hurt.
Yeah, but it's. But how it relates and everything, and I didn't even think we were going to go this way, but that's the beauty of the podcast, is that it's weird. It's like all connected in these weird sort of ways, and we have all this in it. But to get back to, so you have Greg who started it all, but then you have Matt. That when we lost Matt, and now we got Evan down there. Greg invited Matt. Greg invited Matt.
I would have got that for you.
Greg invited Matt.
Yeah.
So Matt worked for us at work, and Greg was there working with us as well because he did our painting and staining and trim and stuff. And he's like, "Hey, I really like this Matt guy."
I agree with Greg.
He goes,
blue collar.
Let's invite him, and then Matt and him hit it off. I mean, dude, they hit it off. They fed off of each other and they loved each other. And then the first year that they were all at camp together, there were 2 years they spent together at camp, and Greg was the one who got Matt to buy a camper. And then after Matt bought that big ass camper, he was all in. And after that, he's all redneck.
Facebook
and I got to tell you is that when Matt was the guy that no matter what crazy idea I came up with, he's like, whatever you want to do, man.
Which sure has been a lot.
Which is a lot. I wanted to order shirts. I wanted to order the Arctics or the and Matt's like, how much? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, he was like me. He's like, I don't give a shit. Let's try it. Let's throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. You know, I mean, he's that kind of guy. So you missed that, but you've filled that void a fair amount, which I do appreciate. So thanks. I mean, look at this guy. You are like the complaint committee.
Is he like the spoiled kid?
No, he's the guy who always feels like he's uninvited or wasn't included.
No, I was invited once. And you don't want me back.
Oh God!
I thought he was invited and we couldn't.
I'm calling bullshit.
God.
Tim, I love you.
Yeah.
But you've never been out with me when I'm
This is Windy City Redneck, the podcast, season 3, episode 15. Eats, drinks, and treats. So we went down memory lane, and I think we'll try and.
Minutes already.
I know it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
So we'll get it back. And let's rein it back in. But thanks for bringing some of that stuff up.
Yeah.
Thanks to you as well, and thanks for your patience, Tim. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get you in on this. Yeah, we're gonna get you in.
Oh,
No
yeah.
problem.
and I'm a petulant kid.
To sum everything up, Deer Camp was a success because number one, Greg's biggest thing, the one who started all this, was safety. And it was
no one hurt.
No one got hurt. No one rolled an ankle. No one.
You hope that's the worst thing that happens.
Gun safety, you have that stuff, and I mean, thank God there was none of that, and it worked out fine. Tim's gonna go check on the leaves, and but it was good in that respect. We had great food. Yeah. We had a great neck roast. Vos brought a neck roast from a stag.
Yeah, as far as dropping the ball, I not that we dropped the ball. I mean, you can't drop the ball at deer camp. I mean, kind of.
I would have brought a lot of booze. And
I like I just wish we would have taken more pictures.
Yeah.
We didn't do the group pic.
We did a bad job.
You
We
should-
didn't
you
even get a group
actually-
picture.
Yeah, I
Or
never got the
one
group
more,
picture.
You should have someone designated to media person. That's all they do.
I did have a camera. I took some pictures, but
I'm not saying you. You're there to hunt. You're not there to take pictures.
all right. So
I know I'm
you're
saying
coming
hire
next
somebody.
year for the designated photo guy.
I've hunted. What do you want to bet? We go there and
You take photos and drink.
I'm not
pictures.
and I
I
drink.
think you just nominated yourself.
If the weekend works, I'm in.
Didn't he? Isn't that how that works? Isn't that like when you got a company
When
and
you throw
somebody
somebody
somebody brings up a great idea, you nominate him for the committee.
Yeah, well, and that just happens. I mean, the only thing I am disappointed in is we did not take a group picture.
That's
That's
kinda
the one
that's
thing.
where I was going.
We messed that up. We did mess that
I
up.
do have a good number of pictures, and then hey, if there's any listeners or anybody that actually watches our stuff, if you know how to get video from Facebook, like a Facebook Live, to be able to download it to your computer, because we do have it.
Talking
It's
to
on
Mike.
Facebook,
Yeah.
but we can't.
We can't figure it
Can't
out.
figure out how to get
Can't
it
figure
to
it
where
out.
we
Facebook
so I can
Live,
so I can download it,
And
the
save it.
file,
Save
and
it.
then
Save it.
and then
Share
add it
and
and
drop
share
it.
it, and then add it and make a video out of it.
Yeah.
It's probably well, I love Elon Musk and Zuckerberg, but it's probably designed about that.
But yeah,
Yeah, there's got to be.
but
a
it's
way to
kind of our
pirate it, though.
content. I would like to have our content
Yeah.
to be
I
able to use it.
understand that.
There's got to be. A
And
way
I've
to-
seen- I-
But you didn't
I've
send that
looked-
post 7 weeks ago when it said tomorrow is the day that they're going to not post your content.
yeah.
It's not you don't own the content.
Oh, that's right. I guess
All
I
right, so to wrap things up on that, and then,
go down that another rabbit hole.
Yeah,
But anyways, if anybody
I love
does, send
Ray
us some
types
messages
of it.
at WindyCityRedneck.com.
Yeah, but it was a good deer camp. I had a good time. I think everyone else had a good time. We had a great time on Saturday night. Our procession out to the Beaverville pub. Thanks to Marty and all the folks at the Beaverville pub for letting us come out there. We had a toast to Northwoods Matt and Greg. Both of Greg's boys were there. Evan was there. It was kind of nice. It was really good. And it was a good time. So, we've always talked about Cloak and Dagger, not saying where we were at and everything,
Yeah.
but we posted on Facebook where we were going.
Yeah.
So, doesn't matter.
So I guess we'll see you down there.
I've been invited. I haven't been.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I get it.
Yeah, it's but it was a good time, and we had some great food, and everyone did a great job. What do you got? To equipment failure already, Tim? There you go.
Can we do this in the break?
It's kind of like
Yeah.
Jenga
Yeah, I think we should probably take
or Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, we're at 28 minutes.
There
Take
you
a
go.
quick break.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and
Only 12 more segments to go.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
he's so optimistic all the time. So
Well, the GoPro does a 12-minute segment, so like 24
12.
minutes.
Is it 36?
Like 24 is like
36.
it's like
So
a
we go
nice
for, like-
2-minute segment.
No, we're good.
Otherwise, we
We can
got to
take a
do
break.
another 12 minutes.
Can we talk about what we don't like about Renee? I'm sorry, our producer.
who the fuck invited him? I told him.
I keep telling you, he's your friend. I don't know. I just met the guy. But now I'm
Yeah.
getting to like him.
Associate.
Now that I
like
get to
that.
know
I like that.
Now
Guess
that I-
my-
An
guess
associate.
my mic is
An
off.
associate.
But now that I know you,
Yeah.
I like you
today.
more and more
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of Windy City Redneck, the podcast, Season 3, Episode 15, Eats, Drinks, and Treats. We'll be right back.